Hi and welcome to Brand Magic. Today I would like to go through the 7 deadly sins of branding and the common mistakes that people make when it does come to branding, and what their perceptions and what they're thinking is branding and what it's actually not. I'm Debbie O'Connor. I'm a brand strategist and graphic designer. I'm also an entrepreneur. I run 2 of my own businesses, and I want to share with you all the knowledge that I have to help you build a brand that is going to be kick-ass, where your clients are going to love what you do, create a brand that people are really going to connect and resonate with as well. So one of the things that I'd like to go through is all the different areas of branding and how people are making those mistakes, because when it comes to branding, one of the most important things is the fact that you're front of mind when it comes time to purchase. So when a client is at that stage and they need to buy from you, who are they thinking of when they need to purchase that product? So I want to do a little bit of an exercise. So if I were to say to you, takeaway company, if you were to answer and you answered anything other than McDonald's, that would be surprising. If I had to say a soda drink, I'm sure that your answer would be Coca-Cola. What if I said search engine? You would probably respond with Google. Now, these are brands that really are front of mind at the drop of a hat. Very short notice, they come to mind. And this is what we're wanting to be able to achieve for you and your brand when it comes time for your customers to purchase. Now, I understand that, most of us are not on this huge, big international level. But the reality is we can still become highly prominent and the business that people connect to at the time of purchase, maybe in our geographical area, perhaps it might be in our area of expertise. So these are the kind of things that we want to look at when it comes to branding. So the first thing that I want to look at when it comes to branding, the mistake that people make, is the fact that they think that their logo is their brand. This is probably the biggest misconception. So if you think that your logo is your brand, you're not alone. Most people think that when they start up a business, they think, right, I better go out, grab myself a logo, I'll slap it on everything, and that's my branding done. Well, no, that's not exactly how branding is done. Branding is so much more than that. So branding is all about the connection that you have with your customers. It's the promise to your customers. It's the commitment that you have to that promise each and every day. It's how you make them feel. Branding is connected a lot to emotion. And Jeff Bezos, who started Amazon, he famously said that your brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. So your brand is pretty powerful, and it's all about your reputation. And that's where a lot of people get stuck. So if that was the first mistake that you made, you're not alone. But what you do need to do is understand that just slapping your logo on everything does not make it branding. You really need to dig a hell of a lot deeper than that to really connect and resonate with your customers. You need to then, and this was the next thing that I was going to bring about. The second deadly sin is then not having a personality. So the thing is that if you have a personality for your brand, your language, your tone, how you connect with your customer, the experience that you create for them, even the culture of your brand stems right back from that personality. So if your brand doesn't have a personality, then that's something that I would highly recommend you see if you can delve into and find out. Now, I've built a system. I've spoken on brand personalities many, many times before, and I've built a system that is derived from the Carl Jung 12 personality archetypal system, where I've just built a word association system to help businesses determine what personality their brand might be. Now, I have a brand new website, so I'd love for you to hop on. It's brandpersonalities.com.au. And on the site, you can actually do the quiz, which will take you step by step through a whole series of questions where you just have one word answers. And at the end of it, if you have clarity about your brand, you will get a result. Now, if you don't have clarity, it means that you probably are going to get a confused result. With this system, you can have one personality or two, no more than two, because else you could be a little bit schizophrenic, and nobody likes to deal with a schizo when they're dealing with business. So give that a go. See if you can find out the personality of a business, because once you've got that, so many pieces of the puzzle will start to fit together and make a lot more sense. All right, so the third mistake that people make is that they focus on what they do. They don't focus on how they do it. Now, this is a really, really important part of helping you develop your brand, because the reality is every graphic designer does the same thing. Every hairdresser, every dentist, every mechanic, they all do the same thing. So if you're talking about what you do, you are competing on exactly the same level as everybody else that does what you do. How you do it is unique to you. That is what becomes part of your unique selling proposition. And this is the part that you really want to tap into. How? How do you do what you do that is different to your competitors? How do you make your customers feel? How is the experience for them? So this is the type of thing that I really want you to think long and hard about, because that's going to become so unique and different for your business. This also goes back to your personality. So if you understand what the personality is, it will help you create and craft an experience around your how. And I'll give you a quick example. So if you are the entertainer brand personality, the experience, how you deal with your customers, is going to be on a very fun, light-hearted, engaging way. However, if you are the ruler, your experience and the way that you're going to connect with your customers is very much in control, status, sophisticated. It's going to be an incredibly different experience. They can't be the same. They shouldn't be the same. And this is how you start to craft a really unique experience for your particular customers. All right, the fourth one is not having a brand promise. Now, I don't know if you've watched the previous episodes for Brand Magic, but I do have them on my YouTube channel, which you can find at Debbie O. They're previous videos that you can watch. But not having a promise, a brand promise, you are losing out on so much potential. And the reason being, if you promise somebody something and you deliver on that promise, you have an avenue in which to build trust. And so many decisions are made from an emotional point of view. If you trust somebody and you connect with them and they resonate with you, there is a much higher chance that not only are they going to keep buying from you, but they're going to tell their friends and their family about you too. The other thing it creates is complete loyalty. People that love and trust a brand will have far more loyalty to that brand. So if you have a promise, and I'm not talking 5 promises, I'm talking one, but it needs to be one really, really good one. One that every single person in the business can focus on. One that you can tell your customers and try and focus on delivering that every single day. If you do that, you're going to have a reputation for delivering on what you say, and that becomes very powerful as well. All right, so the 5th one is using an untrained designer to help you develop the visual aspect of your brand. Now, you're probably going to go, yeah, of course you're going to say that, Deb, you're a graphic designer. But let me tell you that we go through rigorous training to be able to deliver what we do for our customer. And just because your best friend's daughter's cousin or boyfriend is really good at art does not mean that you must put your entire business into their untrained hands, right? This is your reputation. This is your business. This is going to be the image that you are going to project to all of your customers, potentially the world. So you need to know that there is a lot of strategy and well-structured design behind it, because the last thing you want to do is spend some money on a logo that you find when it comes to putting on shirts or caps that it actually doesn't translate very well. Maybe it looks good on a letterhead, but when it comes to a website, you can't really use it. Sometimes the colors that are used are not the right kind of colors, which brings me to mistake number 6. A lot of people will come to me and they'll say, Deb, can you design me a logo? I would like it in blue. And I'll say, well, why do you want it in blue? And they tell me they want it in blue because that's their favorite color. Well, this is one of the biggest mistakes that people make. Just because it's your favorite color does not mean it's your potential market's favorite color. There is a huge amount of psychology wrapped up in color, and color defines so many things for us. They have different meanings for different things. So what I would like you to do, I would suggest you do, is hop onto the website brandmagicmasterclass.com. I have a free video there called The Psychology of Color. And I highly recommend that you watch it because it will give you the meaning of colors, both good and bad. But it will also tell you a little bit about the colors in different cultures. So as an example, in Western culture, we look at white as the color of purity. People get married in white because it's a bit angelic and virgin-like. But in Asian culture, the color white is the color of death. You wouldn't find an Asian woman getting married in Asia in white. They get married in red because red is the passion color, it's the emotion color, it's the love color. So if you are, if your audience, your target audience covers multiple cultures, or you are targeting a particular culture, you really do need to understand the psychology of the colors that you use, because if you get it wrong, it can be damagingly wrong. All right, so the 7th mistake is assuming that branding is expensive. Now, the biggest challenge that you'll find is that branding is not expensive. Not branding is more expensive. All right. So if you don't brand your business, it means that your audience are just going to assume whatever they want to assume, because ultimately branding is not about what you say about your business. It's about what your customer says about your business. And that goes back to that whole piece of your reputation, what people are saying about you when you're not in the room. Now, if you don't have a plan, what that means is people are just going to think whatever. It's going to be ho-hum and all over the place. Whereas if you have a strategy and you are connecting with people on a very precise level, it means you have a much better chance of them perceiving your brand the way you would like them to perceive it. Not branding is way more expensive than branding, because the long-term outcome is going to be far more detrimental. Also, if you've got a really good plan and you know who your personality is, how you want to communicate with your customers, the best colors to use with your brand, it means that if you then go and speak to a designer and you're going to invest in a professional designer, then it means that you've got a lot more structure to add to the brief. So what's going to happen is the designer is going to give you a much better result. And so all of these things come together and the outcome is going to be far more professional. It's going to be far better for your brand. It's going to make you look bigger and more organized and more professional than if you were to do it just ad hoc, going to 99 Designs or getting your free business cards done through Vistaprint. Let me tell you, if they are cheap, the reality is they look cheap. And if you are not prepared to invest in your own brand, how can you expect customers to want to spend their hard-earned money with you? You really do need to back yourself. So there you go. 7 deadly sins of branding. Are you making any of these mistakes? I would love to hear your feedback. Pop in the comments in the section below. Let me know and let me see if I can help you in any way. I'm happy to brainstorm ideas, and I wish you all the best. Good luck with your branding.